I think the dope thing about Indiana is that we are for them specifically, they actually got the memo. They're in a gap year, and I think they're going to be really good next year because I see the talent that they have and how much they really miss Haliburton. And when he comes back, how much better they're going to be next year. Because I watch how good Siakam is in the half court. Like I watched him face up against Russell Westbrook. And I mean, he's really good at that elbow. Really good at that elbow on the right wing. In addition to being really good at that elbow on the right wing, he's great in transition. When they get Haliburton back, all that does is enhance his game. All that does is enhance Mathurin's game, right? And on top of that, it helps Mathurin. It actually helps Mathurin where you might be able to get him on the cheap, maybe, because Mathurin thinks that he's the best player on the crew, but you might be able to get him on the cheap. So don't sleep on this Indiana team next year. They're going to be right back in the middle of it because they're going to get a high draft pick. They're going to get a good player, and they're going to be right back in the middle of this thing.
I want to see Caleb Wilson in Indiana. Very, very interested to see that.
Oh my God, I don't.
I want to see Boozer in Indiana.
Well, yeah, if you get a number one
AJ
pick, but
in Indiana.
assuming they don't get a top 3 pick, I would like to see Caleb Wilson in Indiana.
I hope they get the number one pick so Boozer can go over there with Tyrese.
You think they would take Boozer over Darren Peterson if they got the number one pick?
You think?
I think they should. I think they should. I don't know if they will, but I think they should.
AJ would be interesting for Indiana, but I'd assume they'd want to be contending right away, and I don't think AJ helps that as much as
I think Boozer does, though.
I agree. I think Boozer does come in and impact the game right away, but I think Darren just in terms of his ability to play up tempo, play off guard next to Tyrese, and then also be someone who can handle the ball as well, probably offers something they value more in terms of the pace of the game than Cam Boozer. Although Cam Boozer,
no, but then they just pay them hard.
Sticking to Indiana, ultimately, if they ended up with the top 3 pick in the draft, they're in a gap year. They end up with AJ Dybantsa on their team. How does he fit with this unit? Right? What happens with him now with Tyrese Haliburton? What happens now when they shore up that big man spot? Because J Huff isn't it, obviously, because we were talking about
leading the league in blocks. Chill. I thought if anyone could respect it, I thought it would be you. Damn.
I'm the only Jay. I'm the only.
Wait. Chill. If he was Jay Huffovich, would you like him more?
That doesn't make. If he was Jay Jackson and he was a little bit darker, that wouldn't make a difference. If he was Jay Swipovich from Croatia, that would make a difference. No,
that's crazy.
That doesn't make a difference to me. What I'm thinking about is a guy in AJ Dybantsa, who, if he's getting on this Indiana team that was in a gap year the year before, and they're trying to basically get right back to where they were the season previous to that, not being the Eastern Conference favorite, because I don't think there's anybody up here that thought that they were the favorite, but being in the middle of that. How does he implement himself into that? Because they ain't picking him to just be a rotation guy. They
ain't picking him to be a bucket getter either.
They're not. They're picking him to do a whole bunch of things. So what are you doing in transition? How do you process the defense even when the game is faster? How do you find guys now?
So we saying AJ Dybantsa in Indiana?
If they end up with the number 2 pick,
let me speak for Kevin. I don't speak for Kevin Pritchard, but I'm gonna speak for myself. If I'm running the Indiana Pacers and we land AJ Dybantsa, this is AJ's team now. Everything on AJ's timeline. Pascal Siakam, Benedict Mathurin, y'all adjust.
Jesus Christ.
Okay, cool.
So we're gonna go. So in your mind, we draft AJ. We go away from what got us to the conference finals and the NBA finals.
Ben Mathurin wasn't on that team,
and a game away from winning the NBA championship.
But you said everything's on his timeline. I'm saying,
everything is on his timeline.
Are we going away?
What about Tyrese
if AJ doesn't,
by the way,
fit the system that got them to the finals,
you
would change the system.
Mars, what did I tell you? What did I say earlier about EV? What is the projection of exactly? So is this Pacers team as currently constructed with 32-year-old, soon to be 32-year-old Pascal Siakam, Jay Huff, Miles Turner now in Milwaukee? Like, why do we live in the past? Why do we do this? Like, yes, you were a finals team. Hold on. First of all, you were a finals team as a long shot. You needed a miraculous stretch. Stretch of shots to get there.
No, we still
but
got
that doesn't matter, Chill. You look at that. chill.
Why don't that matter? Why wouldn't that matter?
What about
Because of
Tyrese Haliburton?
expected value.
But while they were
Because of
on that
expected
run,
value,
you
Jordan.
were the one who was very consistently telling me that since January they were the best team in the Eastern Conference record-wise.
Since
They
January,
So how
were.
miraculous was it, or were they just actually that good?
I think they were good
Damn.
enough to get there,
Yep.
but transition
And
does
lost
slow
to Game
down
7.
in transition does typically slow down in the playoffs, and
Yep.
their offense stalled many times. Their defense was exposed many times, and then they came back miraculous runs.
No, it didn't.
What about when they
Still
went to
was
the
rolling
conference
in the
finals the year
playoffs.
Do you know
before?
how many
Was it
runs this team
they
had?
still
Do you know how many
rolling
game
in the
winners
playoffs.
What
Tyrese
about
Haliburton had
when they
to
went
hit
to
to
the
get
conference
them
finals the
there?
year before?
Oh my God. Okay,
That don't matter either.
What
Jordan.
about Tyrese
The
Haliburton?
Pacers
Jordan.
have had the best offense in the playoffs. Like
Jordan. If I flip a coin
both times, Halliburton's in
10
it.
times and it's heads 10 times, that's a miracle, right? But it's not,
Not
really a
really.
miracle.
It's
But
fake.
Can we
you
address
wouldn't,
Ox's point?
you wouldn't
Ox,
bet
one
on
more
it,
time. I don't
right?
think they heard you in the back,
It's-
Ox. I don't think they heard you in the back, Ox. One more time.
I don't even want to. Okay,
Please.
what about Tyrese Haliburton?
Hello, hi.
What about Tyrese Haliburton?
Nothing.
You mean the
What-
franchise
what about him?
record, the
I
dude
don't.
we
I
built?
don't want to add any more energy to that.
We're talking about a guy who has we don't know what this guy's gonna look like after the Achilles. Can we
That's
stop?
We
fair.
don't know what
I agree.
AJ gonna look
I
like.
agree, but we don't know what AJ's gonna look like in the NBA. But I
That's
do
what
agree.
I'm
We don't know
saying.
what Halliburton's gonna look like after a 20
At least we have a baseline of Halliburton, though.
We don't have nothing
But
to
we
AJ
don't have a
besides-
baseline of
besides no
Haliburton
process of the
post
game, no
Achilles.
hitting the extra passes, none of that shit.
26 years
We don't got none of that shit.
Joe,
We just got heat to
26
bust.
years old, already not
And
the
he 20
greatest
and he's not
athlete.
18.
First of all, we are taking and relies on athleticism tremendously. Do you know how I know Tyrese Haliburton is a very, very major risk? Because I've seen Tyrese Haliburton injured. I've seen Tyrese Haliburton when he's lost his twitch. I've seen him with a groin injury. He does not look right. When
Yeah,
this
he was
dude
about
is
to
not
Thunder
right,
Dome, bro.
when
He
this
tears
dude is
Achilles.
not right, everything goes wrong for him. All
Can't
the
we say that
pace,
about
all the
everybody
speed.
though, Penn? I mean, like,
No,
I don't think this is
no,
just
you
Tyrese
can't,
Haliburton.
Chill. No, you can't. Because when Kevin Durant is not right, Kevin Durant is still a 7-foot sharpshooter. That's why I think Kevin Durant was able to recover. If Shaquille O'Neal is not right, Shaquille O'Neal still is 7 feet tall, 320
was Kevin
pound
Durant
behemoth
not
with
right?
good touch.
But wait,
Well, he
whoa.
tore his
When was
Achilles too. That's what he's saying.
Kevin
Okay,
Durant
he
tore
did tear his Achilles. However,
And he
he
came
still
back
was able.
Amazing.
He still was able to run fast. He still was quick. He still had
Fast,
quick
it's funny.
twitches.
Chill.
Yes,
If you
he still was able to do
scale
that,
down
Trent.
all the
Let's not make it
advantages
look
that
like
Kevin
Dude was out here
Kevin
just
Durant has,
slow.
speed is very, very low on that list. His advantage is not
No.
because he's fast. He's fast for a 7-footer,
100.
but it's chill.
Keep
right
going. I'm
now,
listening, Penn. Keep going.
Kevin Durant gets this entire game off in like 2 dribbles. What is fast about this? He's
I would argue
efficient.
that's become what he's had to do, which is a testament. to
Well,
him.
that is the
Because he's
testament to the
37
fact that
today.
but can
But
Tyrese
6
Haliburton
years
cannot
ago,
scale that.
no, that wasn't the case.
But Tyrese Haliburton cannot do that. Look, what I'm saying is just because Dominique Wilkins and Tyrese Haliburton come back from an Achilles tear doesn't mean that this is now the new normal. We saw Kobe. Okay, and Kobe was a good athlete.
old.
A
Tyrese is
really,
nowhere near
hold
as
on.
athlete as any of those
He was
guys.
old.
I don't think
Okay.
Ken is wrong to say that we don't know how Halliburton's gonna come back from an
No, we
Achilles.
don't,
We don't need
right.
to act like everything he says is disagreeable.
No,
No,
that's
no,
correct.
We don't know how Jason Tatum's gonna come back. We don't know how
Yeah.
Dame's
Right.
gonna come back. Like that's reasonable.
We don't know how
But-
AJ
but
gonna
okay,
play,
hold
though.
on,
That's
Mars.
the main thing.
I
Between
agree. That's where
Jason-
I'm at too.
between-
We used to
Mars,
throw away
between
even
Jason
bigger.
Tatum,
That's even
between
a
Jason
bigger
Tatum
concern.
and Tyrese Haliburton, who would you bet to make a better recovery from an Achilles tear?
Tatum.
I don't
Well,
think that's a fair
my
enough
instant
question.
bet
I
would be
think-
who
I
takes
think-
more time to actually recover. If Jason Tatum comes
Both
back
of
this
them
season,
sat
I'm
out
gonna
the
say
whole
Halliburton.
season, Moss.
Then
Both of them sat out the
my
whole
money
season.
would be on Tatum. My money would be on Tatum.
Yes, my money.
But I
Why?
also don't think that's a fair question because I feel like in this
Oh.
context of AJ going to Indiana, to Ron's point, I feel like we have a baseline of what Tyrese Haliburton is. We have a baseline to what Tyrese Haliburton is. Number one, he's Penn's not wrong about do we know how if he comes back after the Achilles, but I can also say he wasn't very athletic in the first place anyway.
He's
So,
extremely athletic.
Yes, he is.
Tyrese Haliburton is not
Who's
extremely athletic.
Who's extremely
I
athletic?
think he's a
Tyrese
great
Haliburton.
Haliburton. He is fast. He is twitchy. When he's going right, just
I think
because
he's
he's
a
not
great
vertically explosive, he's a very balanced athlete. He gets on.
He's not
he gets on
extremely
balance a lot.
athletic. don't
Yeah, I
even
feel
know
like the
how
word
we can
extremely
do
is.
Okay, I
is-
apologize.
Okay,
I apologize
all
for the
right,
word
Moss. He ain't
extremely.
Jason Kidd. He ain't Russell Westbrook. We ain't going that far. No, we
Okay,
ain't
but
doing
ain't
he
that.
even
is a
close to
very,
that.
very
Like, he just-
functionally coordinated athlete, and he's 6'5". Listen, the
He's
fact
just a
that you're
skilled basketball
look,
player. He's
Mars,
a
the
skilled
fact that you
basketball
picked
player.
Jason Tatum is very
Yeah.
interesting to me because, And the reason I say this is we can probably, hopefully, both agree that Tyrese Haliburton is definitely the more cerebral of the two players, right? He is the one whose mind is more used to his advantages as opposed to Tatum, where the body is far, far more in the offense, like what he does, his body is far more likely to be the catalyst for what he's doing.
Jason Tatum is just much better than Tyrese Haliburton as a basketball player too, though.
But that's not the question. I didn't say who will be better. I said who is more likely to make a full recovery, or who is more likely to make
to come back closer to their old self.
So who's more likely to be 90% of their former self? And I think
I think it might actually be Hallie though, because because once again, Hallie's game is just because you may say he is the athlete that he is. Cool. Mm-hmm. Jason Tatum's still a better athlete. He has more to recover to get back to what he was. And believe it or not, Jason Tatum's game was a little bit more predicated on athleticism than Hallie.
Halliburton,
a lot of hold on right quick. Halliburton, a lot of what Haliburton did was up top. His smart decision making, assist to turnover ratio, and on top of that, Haliburton's a better shooter than Jason Tatum. Haliburton literally, his game is getting off the ball. Like, he does play on the ball, but he doesn't play on the ball as much as Jason Tatum. Haliburton, a lot of his stuff was off catch and shoots and stuff like that. He would come off pick and rolls and hit that, but his game isn't as shifty and twitchy as Jason Tatum.
As you saying it is. And on top of that, the point, like, about the whole AJ thing before I got interrupted, we got money on Haliburton already. Like, my money is on Haliburton already. Like, I'm not finna allow AJ to come in, who a guy we never saw play basketball. And to Penn's point, we have never saw him adapt to shit, by the way. We never saw him adapt to nothing in real time. We just know he's young, and he could do it. But
you never seen him play basketball?
No,
you've been watching him play baseball the whole time.
At the pro level, he's talking about.
Bad.
That's
all right, cool. That's fine. We don't got to go into that. Chill. Penn just trolling right now. But we haven't seen AJ do any of that. Like, none of that. What we talking about to where he's a plug and play player. I can say one thing: AJ is a good talent. He's not a plug and play player.
You have to find the right situation. I've seen him play 60 games in high school.
Okay. You have to find the right situation
in a specific system, though, Penn. Like,
not a specific system, Chill. He is adapted across systems. He's played at EYBL. He's played at different schools. He's now playing at BYU.
Played at every team that has catered to him.
Yes,
and that's not going to happen when he gets to the pros.
So did RJ. Good players have shit catered to them at a youth level. That's not surprising to literally any.
Yeah. Penn, you know who's your favorite player out of all of them? Scotty Barnes, because it wasn't catered to him. That's why it's funny that you're doing this.
Night Riders was catered to him, but you don't know that.
Florida State catered to him?
He was the best player on Florida State.
All right, now you
that's not what he asked. That's not what he asked.
There you go.
Mauvert catered to him?
No.
Mauvert was not catered to him, but he catered Mauvert to his own to himself.
Is the Toronto Raptors catered to him?
Isn't that the point, Jordan?
Yes.
That's exactly the point that I'm making.
We are built
showed his adaptability and ability to play off of others, whereas AJ, that's more of a question.
But the question, okay,
you're gonna switch it to a story mode.
Like even Cooper Flag.
Have you ever seen me stand up? Have you ever seen me stand up on camera?
Never seen you stand up on camera.
So maybe I don't have legs.
That's not.
You ever thought of that? You ever thought of that? You ever thought of that? You've been watching me for a year and a half, and I might freaking not have legs. And you
what
wouldn't
happened
even
to your legs, Penn?
I don't know. I ain't ever used them.
Now since you be telling stories, that's a story I'm interested in.
It's the panel. Religion get built on cam. With a check, throw smoke, and the host go ham. You ain't never seen hoops out here did raw. Every take got weight, every night we drop. Yeah, this that barbershop. Courtside, worldwide tone. Welcome to the only show that really feel like numbers jumping like the score.